Thanks to Aohi for sponsoring this video. Is the next iPhone gonna go Ultra? Are we about to see some all-new high-end Apple products that give us even bigger screens, bigger batteries, and probably bigger price tags too? If all of this is true, the iPhone 14 Pro might be super boring when you compare it to this, the iPhone 15 Ultra, that might be better in every single way. So as we always do here on the Apple Circle, let's break down the latest Apple leaks, news, and rumors that you need to know about, including what an Ultra category of Apple products could look like. What features could we expect to see from an iPad Ultra, AirPods Ultra, MacBook Ultra, and an iPhone 15 Ultra? We've got some new leaks that are popping in about an Ultra iPhone, and let me just say now that things are about to get very, very interesting. Now, the Apple Watch Ultra is very controversial for a couple of big reasons, including, of course, the big one being, well, its big design. It's big, it's bold, it's chunky, and you either love the utilitarianism of this thing, you love the way it looks, or you think it looks chunky and outdated and probably just really, really ugly. But regardless of what you think about its design, you can't argue that the Ultra name really stands for something here. The Apple Watch Ultra is almost Ultra in every single way. It's got the biggest battery, it's got the biggest display, it's got a brighter display. Ultra really means the best out of every other product in its category. And the more I think about it, the more an Ultra product category of Apple products actually does make sense. We could see a MacBook Ultra, iPad Ultra, of course an iPhone Ultra, maybe an iPhone 15 Ultra. All that really does make sense. And when you sort of start to connect the dots from different leaks and rumors we've started to see pop up over the last few months, an Ultra lineup makes a lot of sense and could bring a ton of new features and, most importantly, some brand new designs to make the iPad, the Mac, and the iPhone feel really new and different. And even putting speculation to the side for a moment, it does seem like this is coming in one form or another. We've already got two credible Apple insiders. You have Ming-Chi Kuo, who says that Apple is going to do more with the iPhone 15 Pro line to really differentiate the highest end Pro Max from the regular Pro. So some exclusive features should be coming to the higher end iPhone. And Mark Gurman has now said twice that Ultra is definitely coming to the iPhone in one form or another. But as cool as this sounds, there's really a big question here that no one really knows the answer to, and that is, what does Ultra mean for all of these different products? Does Ultra mean really premium, a new design, slim bezels? Does it mean super high end with all the bells and whistles and features you could want? Or does Ultra mean rugged and protective and beefy and bulky in the name of adding functionality and sacrificing a little bit on form? If we see an iPhone 15 Ultra, for example, what's it gonna be? Super sleek or super kind of ugly and rugged? Let's just dream for a moment and see what an iPhone 15 Ultra could look like if Apple took the first approach. They spared no expense. They basically threw in all the features we asked for and gave us a super sleek, simple, and really elegant design on the iPhone Ultra or the iPhone 15 Ultra. What would that phone need to have to make it really worthy of that Ultra name and, more importantly, that Ultra price tag? Well, for me, there's a couple things, starting first with the design. Obviously, the iPhone 14 Pro is looking really, really promising. The Dynamic Island, it's kind of a weird name, but still looks really cool. But the design of the phone, the actual fundamentals, haven't really changed since what? The 12 and the 13 and 14 all look the same, even the 11. Apple has stuck to a very similar design language for years and years, and it'd be really nice with the iPhone 15 Ultra, or whatever iPhone Ultra we see, to get an all-new design that we haven't seen before. Or maybe sort of a throwback design with a twist. We had heard, for example, that Apple was, at least at one time, working on a classic iPhone 4 style redesign that was more refined and more modern in 2022 or 2023. You'd have the round volume buttons, you'd have squared off corners, a real industrial design, a glass back, even sort of speaker mesh on the bottom. All this looks super cool, but obviously we didn't see it with the iPhone 14, but maybe we could see this on an iPhone Ultra. Or even if it's not that, something different would be really nice to see. I'm not convinced that Apple is going to remove the sort of cutout since the Dynamic Island is still feels so fresh and new, but maybe just the overall phone design changes. Maybe we get a second screen on the back, as crazy as that sounds, or some new camera setup or orientation, or something new or different with the look and feel of the phone. I'm not asking for anything crazy here, but if you're talking about Ultra and you're looking at the Apple Watch Ultra as a model, that has a totally new design compared to what we've had in the past, so an iPhone Ultra should look and feel totally new too. And seeing as Apple packed the Apple Watch Ultra with tons and tons of features, I'd love to see the same for an iPhone Ultra. For example, what if we had a better camera system? We have that 48 megapixel main camera that should be coming to the iPhone Ultra, but what if we had an even better telephoto lens? This is supposed to be coming with the iPhone 15 in 2023, so it makes so much sense to get better optical zoom on the highest end iPhone, and maybe it's a feature only reserved for the bigger, higher end Ultra iPhone. Also, I'd still love to see Touch ID come back in one form or another, and Apple actually now has a couple of interesting ways they could do this. On one hand, they could build it under the display. We've been seeing the patents for years. They could totally do this. It'd be seamless. It'd be sort of hidden, but when you needed Touch ID, it could be totally built right under the glass of your iPhone Ultra. That'd be really, really cool. Or Apple could do something different, stealing the action button that is on the Apple Watch Ultra and bringing that over to the iPhone as a new programmable button, maybe with Touch ID functionality built right in. So not only could you have this new, colorful, customizable button on your iPhone, but maybe Touch ID could be built into it as well. It wouldn't actually be all that crazy to think about this, and it would actually make a whole lot of sense on this highest end iPhone to have both Face ID and Touch ID. We've been talking about it for years. Apple, please make it happen. It would also, of course, be nice to see the iPhone Ultra get USB-C instead of Lightning. Obviously, this is a big rumor for next year. I'd imagine that all iPhones probably make the switch from Lightning over to USB-C, but if we're talking about the best, highest end, highest priced iPhone in terms of what we want for features, USB-C is definitely top of my list. Now, before we continue with more on the Ultra iPhone, let's take a break for just a moment because I want to talk to you guys about the Ultra accessory you need to have for all of your tech gadgets. This is one of my favorites. It's this small, powerful, and sleek little cube made by this video sponsor, Aohi. Now, I've been using Aohi chargers with my Apple products for I want to say a little over a year at this point. They're super sleek, they're portable, they're powerful, and now they're bringing all this and more to this 40-watt mag cube. It comes in a variety of some really beautiful colors, including the stunning yellow that I really like. It's got 2 USB-C ports built in on the bottom, and as the name suggests, it can really supercharge your devices and get them from empty to full in no time. For example, it'll take a MacBook Air from empty to full in just 2 hours on single port mode. It's gonna use intelligent power allocation to detect and optimize power delivery for the device you've got plugged in on the other end to make sure it's getting the best possible charge. And this 40-watt mag cube is just perfect for everything from phones to tablets, AirPods, laptops. You're getting a great amount of power in this really small, really sleek package. It's also packing PI technology inside to protect your device while charging, and it can adjust the output power for what's obviously best for your device. And with a built-in LED light, you can quickly see what your charging status is at a glance. No muss, no fuss, and no need to guess. I am just a big fan of this Aohi 40-watt mag cube. Super small, super sleek, super portable, 2 USB-C ports built in, and super easy to plug into the wall, just like that. And then when you're done, take it with you, throw it in your bag, and you are good to go. So again, learn more today and pick one up for yourself today at the link right down below. Now, all that sounds cool, and I would love to see it, but that might not be the direction that Apple would go. If they do take a page straight from the Apple Watch Ultra playbook, maybe the iPhone 15 Ultra or the iPhone Ultra, whatever Apple calls it, is really more rugged. Maybe this thing is really built to withstand the elements. It's got a more scratch, shatter, crack-proof display. It's got a really big battery inside. It's built with more rugged material. Maybe Apple does bring titanium to the Ultra iPhone. Maybe it's really built with more of a grippy material. It's got better satellite connectivity built in so you can sort of make calls instead of just sending texts. With some better internals for emergency SOS via satellite, Apple could do a lot to make a really rugged, explorer-focused iPhone model just for those who really want it. Though in my opinion, as cool as that would be, I feel like a lot of people would prefer a higher end, more sleek, stylish Ultra product than a more rugged one, but what would you prefer? What do you think Ultra means? Does it mean Ultra features or ultra rugged and protective? Let me know your thoughts down below. And not only does the Ultra moniker make a lot of sense for the iPhone, but it also does make a lot of sense for other Apple products as well. For example, we've already seen some clever concepts of what an iPad Ultra could look like with the dynamic island. Maybe Apple makes the display bezels even thinner on the iPad Ultra, basically a larger version of the iPad Pro, or even same size as the iPad Pro but thinner bezels, and then uses the dynamic island in software to do some really cool things. Maybe an iPad Ultra is a larger screen one. We actually heard rumors that Apple could be introducing, was it a 14-inch-ish model of the iPad? And maybe we do get a larger iPad with super thin bezels, we get the dynamic island, we get better battery life, we get an action button. It's actually not that crazy to think about a higher end iPad slotting into the lineup to give you even more features and a totally new design. Now, a couple of things are a little tougher to figure out. Like, for example, I don't know what AirPods Ultra would be, since we already have AirPods Max, and those are already sort of the higher priced upper echelon Apple headphones, so maybe that doesn't make any sense. And then maybe they could do sort of a Pro Display Ultra. We have the Studio Display, we have the Pro Display XDR, but there have been rumors of a 6K, a sort of higher end refresh Pro Display, and maybe that is the Studio Display or Pro Display Ultra. And then, of course, we keep hearing rumors and rumblings about an iMac Pro, a larger, higher-end iMac. What if Apple calls it the iMac Ultra? It's the one with thinner bezels, a bigger, brighter display. It's packed with all the bells and whistles and features you could want. Maybe Apple really starts to take this Ultra name and place it strategically across their different product categories to give you even more features, give you an even better experience, and even sort of an excuse to charge even more money for some of their higher-end products. And then there's also the idea of a MacBook Pro Ultra. What would that look like? Or a MacBook Ultra? Maybe that has super slim bezels, it's got a bigger display, and then instead of the notch we've got right now, Apple brings the dynamic island to the display on the MacBook Pro. That's sort of giving me touch bar vibe, so I'm not sure if they do that, but hey, at least it's something to think about and dream about. So I'm curious, guys, what are your thoughts on the Ultra name? How do you think Apple could use Ultra in their different product categories to make some really great products? What would an iPhone Ultra, for example, have to have in order to make you go, wow, this is really cool and really worth the price? Could you see AirPods Ultra, a MacBook Ultra, an iPad Ultra? Does all that make sense? Let me know what you'd want to see in Ultra Apple products down below. As always, I appreciate you guys watching these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm Robert Rosenfeld from the Apple Circle, and I'll see you all in the next one.